This day 38 is quite interesting, and it throws light on Garbhavasi, or the state of womb is it required to come again and again. The verse is like this. Bahu hi puti ho jije maya poti nakore mana yatanati chimoti Nirodhe pache kodile garbhavasi adho mukhe re dhukkatya bhalakasi manavasana chukave ye rasara manakamana sandire द्रव्यधारा मनायातना तोरहे गर्भवासी मना सज्जना भेटवी रागवासी. So here, such a wonderful verse this is, and it continues to speak about the garbha avastha of the individual, as to how painful it is, and is it wise to come here again and again for the trivial pleasures of temporal region belonging to the carnal world. This is what he speaks. So here he says, Bahur hi puti horije mayapoti. Mayapoti in the mother's womb. Bahu much. Rupiti, sadness becomes our life, my dear friends. Think as to why we are entering into the mother's womb. The question is our unfulfilled desire. Just imagine if we have no desire, no problem. If we have unfulfilled desire and if we kick the bucket, then what happens? The soul in a transmigratory period, it keeps moving here and there, and it looks for a conducive atmosphere, and the soul creates a thought in the man and in the woman for them to come together. And after coming together, the soul enters. Why? To fulfill its desires. And the soul influences the parents, I tell you. This is quite interesting. You will be seeing the other side, but here I'm saying something different. It is the soul, it influences the couple to come together. And after that, you see a lot of changes in the personality of the mother, or the psychological emotions. All these are because of the influence of the soul. So our desire is the cause for others to come together and they give us birth. And it says, he continues, Nakore mana yatana techimoti. So he says, oh mind, have not the suffering of entering into the womb. For that, be desireless now, or surrender to Raghava. And this enough of agony and torture in the womb. You mean to say that when the soul enters the womb, it will be happy? Those 9 months and 9 days, it's a torture for the soul, for the child to be in that warm. Just imagine when you are using a microwave, when you put the food inside, what happens? How it gets cooked like that. The child is getting cooked inside, in the warmth, in the heat of the womb, by amongst the smell of the intestines and the kidneys. Okay, with all that, are you upright? Nirodhe pache kodile garbhavasi. You are suffocating there and you want to exit, come out from the imprisonment. Kodile, imprisonment. Pache, you want to exist. From where? From Garbhavasi. And in Garbhavasi, how are you placed? You're totally constricted and head down, head over heels. Imagine the state, folding the arms, bent like a cow, knees drawn together towards the chest and head down. Aha, really is it required? Adhomukha, he says, Re, oh dear wine, alas, Dukkhathya balakasi, is that grief of the child required for you to have? And one more challenge from the medical side. After the ninth month, in case if the child doesn't come out, you know what happens? What will be the state of the child inside? Medically, it says the child starts to puke and starts to pass motion, and the child swallows the same motion. Ah, think how wonderful the state would be inside. Yuck. So here he repeatedly says, once at suffering in the womb of the mother, undergoing the torture and agonizing pain and heat, sitting constricted upside down, is it required? Boiling and suffocating, is it required? Think. No, not required. Then what you should do? Surrender to Raghava. And then he continues, Mana Vasana Chuka Viyorazara. So to avoid this, what you should do, O mind? Mana, oh dear mind, avoid the passion. The moment you avoid the passion, Yorazara, that is the repeated cycle of birth and death, gets cut. Mana kamana sandire dhravyadhara. Now he gives a pointer as to how we should live in this world now, so that tomorrow we'll not get into the womb again. He says, Mana, O mind, kamana, the lust for others, things. Sandire, give up, O dear mind, of what? Dhravyadhara. Here, when it says Dhravyadhara, he speaks about the wealth of others, where you want to possess, earn, save. Yes, a little bit of savings is required. I don't say don't earn, don't save, don't go for pensionary schemes, don't contribute for EPF. All these things I'm not saying are not the author. All that he is trying to say is the lust to acquire more than what is needed. Number one. Again, what is the need? It's $1,000,000 question. The need of every individual differs. For an individual, there are people who live with 10,000, there are people who live with 1 lakh, there are people who live with 50 lakhs a month. Isn't it? It depends from individual to individual as to what you need, how much you need, and all. For basic, simple living where you can have good food, have good facilities, and treat others who come home in a respectable manner, that is enough. Number one. Number two, there's nothing wrong in acquiring wealth and savings and all those things, but let it be in a lawful way, and let it be in a dharmic way. But acquisition of others' wealth, property, money, wives, by threatening, by blackmailing, or by not paying the dues which are supposed to be given to others is wrong. You see, the two great epics of the Indian system, it speaks only about that. In one side, it was the lust of the land, Duryodhana. He didn't even give 5 small villages for them. You know what happened at the end. In other epic, the lust for others' wife, Ravan, who aspired for. So it is not only like that. Even of late, we see even girls aspiring for boys. isn't it? And the reason may be many. Yes, the reason may be many. The reason may be that they are having an unfulfilled life in a family status and they look for extramarital relationships. They say they are not satisfied. Yes, we know both polyandry and polygamy. Everything is there in history we have studied. But here he's speaking about the lust. Because all that we try to speak about the control of the senses, not letting go the senses like a wildfire. So he says, Mana Kamana Sandire Dravyadhari. Oh mind, give up lust and trying to possess other belongings. It can be either wealth or property or power or position or designation or others' spouse. He says, give up that. If you don't give up that, what happens? Mana yatana he garbhavasi. In case if you don't give up that, then to fulfill the desires of this birth, which are not complete, then you have to enter into the suffocating womb of intolerable pain and agony again and again. Aha. So then, what is the end? How to put a full stop for this? Mana sajjana bheda viragavasi. Oh dear mind, be with the saints, be with the noble, be with the good hearted, and bring Ram into your life, Raghava into your life. Yesterday we have seen one Shuddha Brahma Paratpara Ram. In fact, Shaina commented on it. Initially, there is something else for 10-15 seconds, and without listening full, she says, very Shuddha Brahma, it starts with something else. Have patience and listen to the full one. Then you will understand. That's the whole Ramayana is covered there. Or we have wonderful composition by Bhartrihari. Kelati mama hrudaye Sri Rama Hari. Sorry, I'm not a singer, but it's wonderful. It says how Rama plays in one's heart. Bhartrihari's composition. So wonderful. So engage in the thoughts of Sri Ram, Sri Raghava. Bolo Sri Ramachandra ji ki jai. Hanumat Sita Rama Lakshmana Bharata ki jai. Like that. Just example. So, why we should be in a spiritual path, or why we should think of Raghava, or why we should be in the company of the saints, in the sense they escort our minds. They do not allow our mind to wander hither and thither. And the mind is tapered on the focus of the purpose of this birth and to understand who we are in our true form. What is the true form? That should be experienced by each and every individual. Apart from the bodily identification, psychological identification, social status identification, without all this, you have a wonderful personality. What is that? That we can come to know only when we are in the company of the saints and of the noble, and when we bring Lord Sri Ram into our life. Stay put with Rama's consciousness all through till we meet next. Hari Om and thanks.